And welcome back to the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity. We've been talking all about living a conscious life of creating wealth and abundance in our life and not just in our pocketbook. And talking about aligning with energy, we did manage to find our guest today. I am very pleased to introduce you to Luci McMonagle, who is the Mystic Wealth Creator who focuses on mentoring conscious mystical entrepreneurs to create more freedom in their business and life through conscious wealth creation so they can make a big impact in the world and leave a wonderful legacy. She is an expert on energy clearings and empowers others with her unique approach, blending practical tools with spirituality that enables hidden blocks to be transmuted. Welcome to the Conscious Consultant Hour, Luci.
Thank you, Sam. I so appreciate you.
Thank you so much. So, Luci, since a little late in the show, we can we'll do kind of an abbreviated version of your background. So, just tell us a little bit around what your journey was like kind of how you started off. Were you always on this mystical spiritual path, or was something later in life, and how you came to be doing the work that you're doing today?
I wasn't always like this, and the circumstances of my life is I grew up very, very poor, and I seen my mother struggle and my grandmother struggling. And I even started struggling when I was at a young age. And I wanted to end this misery that not only me, but my family was suffering from. And I had to find some way to move out of that. And through that, I made a decision to break the poverty vows that were attached to my family and attached to the generations that came before me.
And so, when you say like break those poverty vows, what are you actually talking about? Because, many people will say, well, I don't have any poverty vows. I want lots of money. Yet somehow they're not bringing it into their life.
So what I'm saying is a lot of times decisions that our ancestors have made actually stick with us. They stay in our DNA, they stay in our consciousness, and from that point forward, we end up in these situations that seem to be like a vicious cycle. We're not able to move beyond a certain set point of finances, and only 10% of the individuals go beyond what their parents have made.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you get into that lineage? I mean, look, I'm a big believer that, I didn't used to be, but now I really do believe that sort of our ancestral lineage really does affect us, because how many generations old is our DNA, right? I mean, that's passed down generation to generation. So there is information in DNA, and that affects, today's life, even though it may be related to something that happened hundreds of years ago. So how do you go in and actually clear that?
You find the energy of that first vow, and the way you do that is the way I did that was I actually seen somebody who was mystical enough so that they could sense the energy in my DNA and my family. And we were able to document this later to when my ancestor came to America. And what happened is they took a vow of poverty because they joined the church. They became a deacon. They came to America as a missionary. And it was so uncanny when after having this done, I found out that they were accurate. They actually knew that there was a vow of poverty. Now, they didn't know the exact time period or anything because they just went and felt it. And once we were able to resolve that issue between the accepting the vow of poverty and leading with that generation rather than with all of us that came after that, that's when my life really changed.
I see. Now you have, I mean, you're a fairly, it would be fair to say you're a fairly spiritual person, yes?
Yes.
But you've also had a life, a very practical life in like in the business world, correct?
That's very correct. Absolutely.
And so why don't you give our audience just a little bit of an idea? Because, sometimes people think that, this person's so spiritual into this and that. Like, what do they know about money or anything? So maybe you can give our audience just a little idea of, like, your background and what you've done to support yourself over your life.
Thank you, Sam. And I appreciate that. So what I've done is a multitude of jobs when I was younger. And because I was so poor, I just had to find something outside of anything that was illegal. I did not do anything illegal. just wanted to clarify that, because sometimes when you say, oh, you were young, you were desperate, people kind of let their minds wander.
So you weren't selling drugs on the street corner, right?
Ask my neighbors, do you have laundry you need me to wash? Do you want me to take care of your yard? I was looking for a job at the same time, and the economy wasn't that great at that time.
Right.
So I eventually started doing errands and bringing elderly people to their doctor's appointments or picking up groceries for them. I would clean people's houses who got back from the hospital from surgery, and that led me into home health care. And I started taking care of a family, and I did that for over 20 years.
Wow.
And in my 30s, I also received my degree for business administration and financial services. I had a double major.
Okay.
So I have a very practical side, bookkeeping, accounting, financial services, and business administration. And then I also have my other side where I was working in home health care. I went from just being a gopher, as I called myself, that's not the technical term they call us, to being a chief executive director.
Wow. Yeah, so it's like you were willing to do, what you needed to do and really, put effort into, finding work. It's like nothing was beneath you. You needed to support yourself. So you went out and you did whatever it took to support yourself.
That's correct. Absolutely.
All right. So when did you start to sort of merge, sort of that energetic spiritual side with your practical business side?
I started to merge that on my little side gigs, as I called them, and I didn't really charge a lot because it was something I did for fun.
Right.
That was in my early 20s.
Oh, okay. So you've been doing it for a while.
Yes, I've been doing it for a long while, and I started it because in my early 20s it was that clearing that I had, and also finding the Inner Peace Foundation, which really helped me with not just the energy side of things, because I had to prove things scientifically before I believed them. So that's why I went hunting and wanted to find out, really, I have some family genetic stuff. So I literally started hunting through the archives of records that my grandmother made. So I was fortunate that she documented our family through the 1400s.
Wow. So then, now, so let's bring it up to the present. So now you're known as the Mystic Wealth Creator. So what is it that you actually do to help people to really live a more prosperous and an abundant life today?
So what I actually do today is I empower individuals to really look at what are their thoughts so that they can find out where they're at right now. And then I also work with them energetically to clear the energy that might be around any agreements that their family might have with poverty. We work on not just mindset, but we work on finding your personal innate gifts. What are you meant to bring here?
Right.
And then I can tell you through your facial features and through your body features, what is your soul trying to tell you? What are your soul attributes? What are you bringing into this world? And if you focus on what your soul attributes are, along with finding what your unique gifts are, that's when you start breaking the past and start really moving forward.
Okay, Luci. Well, we need to take a commercial break. I'm going to take it a little early, but when we come back, I'm wondering if maybe give you a little bit of time to think about maybe an example or a story of sort of a client you work with who, like, what they were dealing with when they came to see you, how you worked with them, and then what the result was, so that we can give our audience sort of an idea of what it looks like. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So everybody, please stay tuned. You're listening to the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity. We're speaking with Luci McMonagle, and we'll be right back after these messages.